Good morning, students. So, we'll move on to the last topic of module number 3, that is IoT application transport methods. So, in previous lecture, we discussed regarding what different transportation protocols are available. Okay, and out of two different protocols, that is TCP and UDP. Okay, we discussed what are the advantages of TCP and what are the disadvantages, and we discussed the comparison like which protocol is better for using for IoT network. Okay, so according to previous discussion, we came to a conclusion that so whatever maybe the application protocol we may be using in our IoT network, but if it is based on user datagram protocol, then it will help us to achieve the efficiency. Okay, we do have some benefits in comparison with UDP. Okay, TCP consist, but still when we are comparing with TCP and UDP, okay, there are some main points, okay, where TCP is bit lagging compared to the UDP. Okay, we'll go for UDP itself. Next, we need to go for IoT application transport methods. Okay, so the transport methods, what all we are using, because here we need to transfer the information from like smart devices to the application level layers. Okay, for that what all necessary aspects we need to see. Okay, what are the different methods are available, we'll discuss. Okay, so IoT application transport methods, because of the diverse type of IoT application protocol, there are various means for transporting this protocol across a network. Sometimes you may be dealing with legacy, utility and industrial IoT protocol that have certain requirements, okay, while other times you might need to consider the transport requirements or more modern application layer protocols. So it all depends. Okay, when we are dealing with the real-time IoT network, okay, sometime the constrained network we may face, sometime constrained devices we may face. Okay, sometimes we may go for some other expectation. Okay, like we are having a modern application layer protocols, okay, who are expecting the other benefits or other functionalities while transferring the packets. Okay, so these are all the situation we may face when we start transferring the information from source to the destination. To make these decision easier, okay, like we will be having a confusion like which kind of protocol should be used and all. Okay, so to make this decision easier, it makes sense to categorize the common IoT application protocol and then focus on the transport methods available for each category. Okay, so here what we need to do, fine, just consider like 4 different varieties of issues we may face according to the data transmission from sender, like the smart device to the application layer. Okay, like 4 different issues are there. So what we need to do, we need to address these 4 issues different. Okay, and we need to go for the categorization in such a way that, okay, fine, if the first issue is there, then this type of protocol should be used. Okay, then second issue, protocol B, then third issue, protocol C, fourth issue, protocol C, exactly. Okay, fine. So we'll see what kind of categories we are having. Okay, what are the different categories are available. Okay, and what are the working fashion of those categories, we'll see that. The following categories of IoT application protocol or their transport methods are explored in the following section. Okay, fine, we'll see that. Okay, what are those different application layer transport methods we are having. Okay, we'll see that. The first one is application layer protocol not present. Okay, so here we are having a transport method where the application layer protocols, what all we are using, right? Okay, in further classes, in further 2 more classes, we need to discuss regarding the type 2, okay, which is visible in your screen. Point number 2, SCADA we are calling it as, and last type COP. Okay, we are calling it as COP. Okay, regarding these two we need to have a discussion. So such type of application layer protocol will never exist, okay, for the data transmission. Okay, so such type of category if you want to implement, okay, then what we need to do, we need to go for a first category, we are calling it as what, application layer protocol not present. Okay, so here such type of protocol we are not utilizing for the data transmission. Instead of that, we will be using some basic concepts. Okay, we'll be using some basic concepts, okay, using which we can achieve the efficiency over here. Okay, we'll see that. In this case, the data payload is directly transported on top of the lower layer. No application layer protocol is used. Okay, instead of using the application layer, what we do, we'll be transferring the information direct. This is one case. Then supervisory control and data acquisition. This is very, very important. One sure question from module number 3 will be over either SCADA or COP. Okay, there will be one sure short question. Okay, SCADA or COP. Okay, fine. We are calling it as a SCADA. SCADA is one of the most common industrial protocol in the world. Okay, it was used before also, but it was developed long before the days of IP, and it has been adapted for IP network. So SCADA, okay, we are utilizing in industrial purpose. Okay, we use for industrial purpose. How it is working and all we'll see in further classes. Okay, we have a complete in detail discussion regarding this SCADA. Okay, how it is working and all we'll see that. Okay, but it has developed for non-IP based kind of architecture. Okay, but now we are going for some adaptation. Let's say we are adapting the IP concept for SCADA. So we'll see that. Okay, non-IP SCADA, how it will be behaving, and later after implementing the concepts of IP for SCADA, how it will be and all. Okay, the generic web-based protocol. This is very usual. Generic protocols such as Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and 4G, LTE are found on many consumer and enterprise class IoT devices, okay, that communicate over non-constrained networks. So this is what another variety we are having. Okay, generic web-based protocol where we are utilizing the concepts of Ethernet, Wi-Fi, 4G and all. Okay, then later the last and very important one, IoT application layer protocols. Okay, IoT application layer protocols are diverse. IoT application protocols are devised to run on constrained nodes with a small compute footprint, okay, and are well adapted to the network bandwidth. Okay, constraints on cellular or static links or constrained 6-low-pan network. Okay, message queuing, telemeter transport, MQTT, and constrained application protocol COP. Okay, so these are the example for IoT application layer protocol exactly. Okay, fine. So we'll discuss first category, that is application layer protocol not present. Okay, if there is no application layer protocol such type like SCADA and COP or MQTT, okay, then how the packet should be transferred from source to destination, we'll see that. So class 0 devices send or receive only a few bytes of data. Okay, class 0. Okay, for many reasons such as processing capability, power consumption, and cost. Okay, these devices do not implement a fully structured network protocol stack such as IP, TCP, or UDP, or even an application layer protocol. So class 0, which is the basic level kind of a smart objects. Okay, so in comparison, it will be having less processing capacity, then power consumption will be very less, okay, and the cost will be also less. Okay, so such type of devices, what all we are using as a smart object in our IoT network, okay, they are unable to implement the concepts of network protocol stack. Remember this. Okay, so here what protocol we are using, like internet protocol, it may be TCP, it may be, or UDP, it may be, okay, or this SCADA and COP. Okay, so this cannot be accommodated in case of class 0 devices. Okay, so such type of devices, if they want to communicate with the destination, then how it will be communicated, regarding that we have a discussion, that motto. Okay, so the class 0 devices are usually simple smart objects that are severely constrained. Implementing a robust protocol stack is usually not useful, okay, and sometimes not even possible with the limited available resources, right? Okay, if we are having a very basic kind, it is like example, for basic kind of mobile, if you are trying to install the latest version of Android, okay, then how it will be behaving, right? Like it should be having some compatibility with the hardware, with the server, with the processor, right? RAM compatibility it should be, or else if you are trying to run a high-end graphic game, okay, with Windows 7 or Vista. Okay, so such type of we can consider these class 0 devices for those operating system. Okay, so consider low cost temperature and relative humidity sensor. Okay, sending data over an LPWA or else LoRaWAN, okay, infrastructure. So we are taking some example, like we are trying to send the information, like sending a data related to the temperature and the humidity level. Okay, so regarding that, with class 0 devices, then temperature is represented as 2 bytes. Okay, if I want to send the temperature sensor information, then how many bytes we need? Only 2 bytes is enough. Okay, and the humidity level, also we required only 2 bytes of data. Okay, so therefore this small data payload is directly transported to the top of the LoRaWAN MAC layer, okay, without use of any application layer protocols like TCP or IP or any SCADA or COP exactly. Okay, while many constrained devices such as sensor and the actuator have adopted deployments that have no application layer, so this transportation method has not been standardized. Okay, so locally we are having these type of data transmission. Because of this, we are not going for standardizing this technique, okay, without any application layer protocol transmission. Okay, so here we got one example. Just observe. I hope it is clearly visible for you. Okay, you can observe we are having 3 different applications, like application A, B and C. Okay, then the intermediate we are having a dotted rectangle. You can observe, just observe over here, IoT data broker we are having. Is it right? It's a bold in the right middle corner. Okay, so we are having IoT data broker. Okay, so I tell you what is the job of this IoT data broker. First I would like to mention what are the components we are having. That later temperature data is standardized form, temperature data in standardized form. So we are having one module, okay, which is acting like an intermediate between the applications ABC what we have and the data broker what you are having. That is what temperature data in standardized format exactly. If you'll see that what is the job of these sensors and all. Okay, then later you can observe there are 5 different categories of sensors. We are having sensor X decoder, sensor Y decoder, sensor B decoder, A decoder, then Z decoder. See, feel that these are all the different sensors, okay, which is placed in the real-time environment for sensing the atmosphere temperature, okay, or else room temperature. Feel that, okay. So they're all the decoders exactly. Decoder for what purpose exactly? The information which is sent by the sensor, so that should be decoded. Fine. The job of this will be what? The decoder will be, they are collecting the information from the sensors. Okay, they will start decoding it, and that will be submitted to the temperature data in standardized format module exactly. So the responsibility of the standardized format module is what? They need to represent this decoded version, which is not in a proper format, which is not in a standardized format. It should be represented in a standardized format, and later it should be submitted for applications ABC exactly. Clear? Okay, then you can observe everywhere we are having a bidirectional communication, and in the bottom you can observe those circle kind with arrow marks, whatever we are having, which is having a potential to transmit. Okay, they are showing some range. They are all the sensors exactly. Okay, you can observe there are varieties of sensors available: sensor X, sensor Y and sensor Z. Okay, you can observe sensor B and A we are not targeting, we are targeting for X, Y, Z. Let it be just an example. Okay, so sensor X, if it is sensing the, observe the explanation properly. Okay, sensor X, if it is sensing the temperature, okay, then it will be coding that information. Okay, total how many bytes? It will take total 2 bytes exactly. Okay, so 2 byte of coded information will be sent from the sensor X to the sensor X decoder. The job of sensor X will be what? Sensor X decoder will be what? It should decode the temperature, 2 bytes of information that should be sent for, decoded information should be sent for data standardization format. Okay, so there data should be represented in proper format. Later it should be transferred to applications exactly. Okay, whether it is for A, whether it is for B, and whether it is for C, doesn't matter exactly. But just observe sensor Y also we are having, which is generating a 4 byte coding. Okay, see, sensor X was generating 2 byte coding, but sensor Y is generating 4 byte coding exactly. For what purpose it is, I tell you later. Okay, then sensor Z, another sensor we are having, it is also sensing the same temperature. Okay, but it is generating 8 byte of coding exactly. Right? Okay, see, few sensors, okay, are manufactured by particular manufacturer, okay, or a particular brand, okay, and some other sensor may be manufactured by some other brand exactly. So here you can consider there are three different manufacturer brands, okay. They are manufacturing, one brand is manufacturing X, one is manufacturing Y, and one is manufacturing Z exactly. Then the working fashion, the data, the outcome what they are generating, okay, will be different exactly. But here we are having someone, okay, the intermediate broker, data broker, okay, who is responsible for handling these kind of mismatch in the data code what we are generating using the class 0 sensors over here. See, why we need to go for this data broker, why we need to go for this standard format. See, we are avoiding, observe my words, we are avoiding the application layer protocols. The job of application layer protocol is such type of unformat data what we are getting, okay, that should be formatted in proper channel, or it should be formatted in a proper method, okay, later it should be submitted for the applications exam. Remember this, okay. But here we, in the absence of application layer protocols, okay, someone X should be available, or someone should be available, okay, who should take care regarding the standardization process, okay. So who is responsible for this? IoT data broker exactly, okay. So he is responsible for transferring the information from one format to another format exactly. I hope you don't have any doubt regarding this. Okay, fine. So regarding this itself, we have an explanation. Imagine expanding example 6.1, that is the previous one, of two different kind of temperature sensors from different manufacturers. So these sensors will report temperature data in varying formats. Okay, sensor X, Y, and Z are all temperature sensors, but their output is encoded differently. The IoT data broker understands the different format in which the temperature is encoded, and is therefore able to decode this data into a common standardized format. In summary, while directly transporting data payload without a structured network stack clearly optimizes data transmission over low data rate network, the lack of a data model implies that each application needs to know how to interpret the data specific format. So this becomes increasingly complex for large network of devices with different data payload formats. Okay, furthermore, it makes the IoT application environment challenging in terms of evolution, development, and interoperability, and so on. So yes, if you are using the constraint kind of devices, then okay, we can go for this type of a logic, okay, without any application program. But if you try to implement this concept for a huge amount of IoT network, then it will be of meaningless, because it will increase the overhead for the network, okay, because we need to use the brokers, okay. It is not sure that like whether it is suitable for like every aspects of information or not, okay, whether it can handle the each and every formats, okay, or it can handle the all the different types of sensors and all, okay. So we don't have clear cut information, so it is not safe, okay, for going for the application layer without protocols, okay. So better to go for the application layer protocols, okay, for transferring the information. So in next class we'll be discussing regarding this SCADA, and we'll be discussing regarding the COP, okay, in further classes. So that will finish your module number 3 exactly. Okay, later we'll go for big data analytics. Okay, after that the last module will be regarding the hardware components, what all we are utilizing in generating the IoT network, okay, like Raspberry Pi, then actuators. Regarding that, okay, we'll be discussing the internal architecture and many more concepts regarding the hardware in module number 5 exactly. Okay students, so this is it for now. So we'll meet with next lecture in next class. Thank you.